Right then, welcome back to the channel. My name is Stephen Howson, and this show is brought to you by Matt Le Tissier. Shut the up. How about that for a starter? On Steve Cottrell's podcast, Matt Le Tissier, and there's a little clip which looks like they're sitting on bunk beds in Steve Cottrell's house. Matt Le Tissier decides to roll out this little gem.
My stomach turns when I saw that picture of David Beckham with Bill Gates. I mean, seriously, why? Why? You're a good footballer, David. You were great. You were world class. You were a very, very good footballer at what you did. You were very good. Why are you getting involved? What are you getting involved with that bloke for? Do you have any idea what crimes he's committed?
Do you think he has to?
Yeah.
Let's get into what he's actually said here. So he says, you weren't great. I got into it with him on Twitter because it's kind of what I do. And I put, David Beckham wasn't great. Right. Not even the mentalist thing that is said in this clip. Now, I don't know if Matt Le Tissier has got me muted because he was replying to everybody else that had piled in on him except me. But it is what it is. He then replies with, football is about opinions. If you think Beckham was and he's quoted it, great footballer, that's fine. I personally don't think he was on that level. Very good at what he did, but not great. Why try to ridicule someone's opinion who actually played against him? I respect your opinion, so why is it hard to respect mine? Again, not actually replying to me, replying to someone else. But I'm involved now, so I replied to him. And I put, because it's wrong, Matthew. What wasn't he great at specifically? And then I listed out a little bit about David Beckham's about. So I said he's got a work rate you could only dream of, vision, range, unparalleled crossing ability. He had dead ball specialism, but he's been so reductive about that to the point of idiocy that it's all he had. He was the best player on the planet in 98, 99. Consistency personified, especially in the circumstances in dealing with what happened in the summer. Ridiculous. So that's what I replied. And then he's replying to all sorts of people into that. I'm caught up in it. And he says, it's an opinion, not a fact. Great is a term, I think he means term because he says teen, dished out too easy. Ronaldo and Messi are great in my opinion. Beckham nowhere near close to those two in my opinion. If his whole argument was David Beckham is not on the same level as Ronaldo and Messi, then I will actually go and sit on the loony bus alongside Matt Le Tissier and say I think he's probably got a point there. No one is claiming David Beckham is on the same level as Messi and Ronaldo. And in fact, there's only one player that I would even try to make a case for to go in alongside those. And even that isn't the strongest case, and that's R9, right? And like, he's talking about opinions. And opinions can't be wrong because they're an opinion. If I said I'm a better midfielder than Matt Le Tissier, you can't just say, well, football's about opinion. You go, no, Steve, you're fucking wrong. Because it's fucking wrong. And saying David Beckham wasn't world class, Matthew Le Tissier, is fucking wrong. The guy was voted second in the Ballon d'Or. He's the only Englishman to receive 10 Ballon d'Or nominations. No one else comes fucking close. So Wayne Rooney, who was undoubtedly world class, some will say Steven Gerrard was, Frank Lampard and all of the other English players that have had Ballon d'Or nominations, not one of them has come close to the number of Ballon d'Or nominations that David Beckham received. Consistent for club and country for over a fucking decade. Playing for Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, AC Milan and Manchester United, and swanning off and doing what Pele couldn't do by actually making MLS popular in fucking America. How is this guy not world? How are we still having arguments about whether David Beckham is world class or not in 2023? Fuck me. So anyway, I replied saying, stop eating glue. You said he wasn't world class. That's literally incorrect. So then he decides to say, great means the cream of the crop, the top echelons. David is just below that in my opinion. The problem with stating your opinion as fact, but you probably know that. Here's where his whole argument falls down though, because he tweeted that Ricky Lambert was a great player. So if he was willing to die on the hill of great means Messi, Ronaldo, right? And I wouldn't call that, I'm talking GOAT. That's what those two are literally the argument for who is the greatest of all time, right? And it's those two and go fuck yourself for everybody else. If that's the argument you want to have, then there are no great players outside those two, none. The fact you think that Ricky Lambert is a great player tells me that you just got a fucking problem with David Beckham for some reason. I don't know what that reason is. Maybe because he hangs out with Bill Gates. And for whatever crimes he's committed. Well, what crimes has Bill Gates committed? I looked into it. He was arrested twice. 1975, 1977. Something to do with driving. The fuck are you talking about, Matthew? Anyway, this whole fucking charade of David Beckham, not great, not world class. He was literally the best player on the planet in 1999. He was robbed of a Ballon d'Or by Rivaldo. I think some of the vote got split. Rivaldo didn't get out of the Champions League group stage because Manchester United and David Beckham knocked him out. You tell me now, any other Ballon d'Or winner that doesn't get out of the Champions League group stage, it doesn't happen. But David Beckham that season deserved to be Ballon d'Or winner. And even if you don't think he did and you go, no, he was second, that means he was the second best player on the planet. If that doesn't mean world class, what the fuck are you talking about? Even if you like to say world class means the one player in his position, cool, he's still world class. What if it's only the top 10 players in the world are world class? Cool, he's still world class. What if it's people who've only done something that other people haven't fucking done, like Ando, win an unprecedented treble, being man of the match in the fucking final? He's still world class. Anyway, I'm not getting excited about it. And so to Everton. Everton were a bit of a naughty boy. They overspent a little bit and then they got a 10-point deduction. So I was on Twitter again. And I said, well, if they're deducting Everton for 10 points for a single charge, I imagine City will be playing the Cheshire Football League soon then. And we had some replies to that. This one made me laugh. I shared this as well on Twitter, which is all of the previous other point deductions, Battle of Old Trafford's on there, United and Arsenal. Good little tear up. I'm wondering, did they do 10 points? Because 10 points seems really, really, really strong. Is 10 points done so they can actually get turned over on appeal and given 5 or 6 or something like that? Because 10 points is coming out wild. But when you think about that, they've factually broken the rules and stayed up by overspending on players, and those players helped keep them up. 10 points might not be that severe, but it does beg the question, what's going to happen with City and with Chelsea? And will the Premier League have any bollocks to actually give them what they deserve for this? Especially when you consider that Everton actually helped the Premier League investigate into this and sat down to an investigation for a few days with them where they came to show them what had happened and why they'd been losing money. And the mad thing is, they lost a hell of a lot of money on players. They also spent a hell of a lot of money on their stadium, which I believe the stadium stuff was all taken out of it. They actually worked with the Premier League to sort of straighten it up, but they still massively overspent on players. Manchester City, according to the leaks and according to the accusations that I read out a bit ago, have had all of these breaches, but also complete and utter ridicule of the system and opposition to the system, and have been obstructive when it comes to the investigation. If the Premier League has actually got any bollocks, and you've got to remember what's hanging over the Premier League from a political point of view at the moment is that the independent football regulator is going to take power away from the Premier League as an organisation. So the Premier League as an organisation probably feels like it has to show it's got a pair of bollocks. Potentially why Everton have been given the hefty penalty that they've been given. But they have to show a pair of bollocks when it comes to Manchester City and Chelsea. The problem is, how much do they damage their own brand, which is something that I can't imagine they're willing to do, to strip titles of City and Chelsea, because that's probably what's required. I don't think they'll have the bollocks to do it. And I also think the likes of Todd Boehly and the likes of Sheikh Mansour have probably got deep enough pockets to hire a team of lawyers which will wrap this thing up in litigation for so long that this never actually comes to fruition. I can't see them being relegated, and I can't see them having title stripped off them. Even though the way that they've gone about covering up and blocking everything that they've done probably deserves it. I don't know, you guys let me know in the comments, what do you actually think is going to come off from this one? Anybody that's watched England over the last, it's been 7 years by the way, what's Gareth Southgate trying to do? Does anyone actually know? Does anyone know what style of play he's trying to impart with one of the most ridiculously talented squads that international football has got? England should be bouncing into tournaments, going toe-to-toe with the likes of France to try and win stuff. They should. But they're not, because the manager is a fucking drip. And then I see this week, that Gareth Southgate has been linked to becoming the new Manchester United boss. I had to change my glasses, I had to go throw up, I had to stare at a fucking lake. I couldn't think of anything worse. I really couldn't. Apart from being Joel and Avram fucking Glazer. He was supposedly even on a shortlist before we appointed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And it could just be paper talk. It could just be people trying to connect the dots with SEO because, England are playing, so Gareth Southgate's going to be in the news. Let's link United with it and put our article out. People do that. I do hope that's the case. I hope it's people just fucking about with SEO rather than there's actually any truth to this. So England drew this week with 66th ranked North Macedonia, right? They only just squeezed past 171st ranked Malta earlier in the qualifying window. And just to put that into some sort of perspective, right? If you put all the international teams into, the English football pyramid, Malta come out somewhere about Wythenshawe. England are like United Newcastle sort of level, like fourth best team in the country. Do you think United only beat Wythenshawe 2-0? Ridiculous. Can you imagine if this fucking idiot became Manchester United manager? Now, his overall record isn't horrendous. He's got a 61% win rate. But it's padded up by the fact that he's playing fucking farmers half the time. To make this make any sort of sense, you've got to put these international teams into some sort of a system. And I've just plucked out the top 20. Why 20? Well, because that's like a league, innit? A bit like the Premier League. And he's actually played 37 games, which is hella close to 38 like a Premier League season, against these top 20 opposition. So against top 20 opposition, a la a league system, how good is this ready salted, crispy in fucking fizzy water meal deal having, shirt in his fucking underpants having loser? What's his record? Well, I've done the maths. And in those 37 games, he has got 14 wins. He has got 12 draws and he's got 11 defeats. That gives him a 37.8% win record. In a Premier League season, that would give him somewhere in the region of 54 points. That's fucking 10th. Let's forget, Southgate, you're the one, and waistcoats at M&S. Shut the fuck up. Listen, he's won fuck all. What did he do in Middlesbrough? Relegated. This fucking idiot can't come anywhere near Manchester United as a coach. Are you fucking... For starters, I can't even believe anyone's even thinking about replacing Ten Hag, who's actually won things and done bits in Europe. For all that is holy. Keep this absolute sausage away from United, please. Anyway, that's whatever this was. See you in a bit.